This show is for women who train harder, think bigger, and live bolder. Here, we don't level up. We set the standard. Strength, strategy, success. I'm Katie Fleece. Welcome to The Smoke Show. The title of this episode is Hot Girl Habits. Okay, so now listen. This is not some fluffy, Instagram influencer morning routine that you find on social media where, she wakes up at 9 a.m., journals for an hour, drinks matcha, whatever, like in her silk pajamas. No, that's not me, okay? But this is like real life. This is what I personally do. It's what works for me. It's not perfect. Okay, but it is consistent as hell, all right? And it's also the reason that I feel good in my body. It's the reason I have energy throughout the day for my career, for my kids, for my husband. And also I think it's the reason that I don't spiral every time, life gets chaotic or doesn't go as planned, all right? So having said that, I am going to walk you through exactly what I do every single day. So take what works. I'm not telling you that you have to do these things. Take what works, tweak what doesn't. But I will say this, whatever you do, you have to stick to it, okay? Because consistency is the magic, all right? That's what habits are. So let's dive in. I'm going to just kind of walk you through exactly, we'll start with the morning and we'll go through the day. All right. So these are things that I just literally do every single day. First of all, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. Okay. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds unrealistic, maybe for some of you and maybe not for some of you. Actually, I had a lady comment on one of my, I think it was an ad, and she said, "This is literally impossible unless we wake up at 4 a.m. And I'm like, well, if it's important to you, then I guess that's what you got to do, right? So I do wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day. Not saying you have to do that in order to be successful or to get the body that you're after, but you do got to evaluate your schedule. And for me personally, I have to get my workout in first thing in the morning. After that, sometimes I never know what the day is going to bring. So for me, that's just a non-negotiable. On days where I don't necessarily have a workout scheduled, I will still knock out a big chunk of my steps at that time of day. Okay. So even on weekends, I get up, my husband does too, get up 4:30 a.m. Sometimes maybe on the weekends, it might be 5, but otherwise we're early birds. Okay. After that, take the dogs out, Snoopy, Dre, those are my dogs. Actually, it's Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, but we don't really call them their full names. Here's one thing that I don't do. I do not get on my phone first thing in the morning. I used to, and it was really putting me in a really crappy mood. It was just a terrible way to start my day. So I absolutely do not hop on my phone to check social media or scroll or look at comments or return messages. Nope, I don't. Okay. And I would highly recommend you not do that either because it's just, I don't know. I think it can be really toxic when you become so obsessed with what you thought you missed out on. So that's just pro tip. Okay. I do journal. I journal every morning. Again, it's I'm not saying you have to journal. You don't have to, practice your manifestation techniques or whatever it is that's out there. But I actually I keep a gratitude journal. And every morning I love to turn on some vibey music, which by the way, so I use an app. It's called, believe it or not, this is kind of funny. It's called Superhuman, not Suprahuman, but Superhuman. And it's an app, and they've got all sorts of of music or whatever. They got all sorts of things for whatever it is that you're doing. So whether it's journaling or cleaning the house or working out or driving in your car or getting ready for a big important meeting or just music, just play music. I use that app every single morning. I play it super, super soft as I journal. I'm telling you, it just puts me in the best mood ever. I even do this when we're traveling. I bring my journal with me and I just sip my coffee and it's a whole vibe. Okay. I get dressed and then I mobile order. I mobile order my Starbucks every morning because when I go pick it up on my way to the gym and I don't like to wait for anything. So I like waiting in the drive-thru drives me nuts. So I mobile order my Starbucks. I get my Starbucks. I go straight to the gym. Now, when I get to the gym, that is when I actually will pull out my phone for the first time. So the first thing I do is I hop on the treadmill. No, I'm not walking backwards on the treadmill. No, I'm not doing the side step. I'm not sprinting. I'm not running. I am literally just there to knock out a good chunk of my steps and do any sort of work that I need to on my phone. So that is when, I'll, respond to messages, check our Slack channel, clear out my email, send voice notes, which I know people have opinions about voice notes. But regardless, that's when I do all of that work on my phone. Because for me, I'm like, if I'm going to be on my phone, I also want to be like, I don't know. I want to make sure that I'm like doing something productive too. So just in case I get stuck scrolling, like I'm still getting my steps in. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I knock out a good chunk of my steps. Then that's when I pull out my phone and then I strength train. I think this is a big misconception for people who maybe think that that want to get in good shape. They think, well, I don't have 2 hours a day to spend at the gym, which is true. Okay. Most people don't. That's amazing if you do. I'm not one of those people. My strength training sessions, honestly, they're about 37 to 39 minutes every time I strength train. I know that's kind of random, but it's like I just know what I'm doing. I get it done. I get the hell out of there. I got to get my day started. All right. So if you are one of those people that thinks, oh my gosh, I just don't have time. Like I need 3 hours. No, you don't. All right. You just got to make sure that you're working out efficiently and effectively for what it is that you're trying to achieve. Okay. So I get my workout in, head home, curl my daughter's hair every morning, which she's 13. And I know a lot of 13-year-olds curl their own hair, but I secretly love that she still loves for me to do her hair. I love it. I'll eat it up. So yeah, that's my morning. Pretty much every morning, even when I'm traveling. Obviously the school schedule, I'm not taking my kids to school when I'm traveling, but for the most part, that first part of my morning, it's the same every day. Some people would call it boring, but here's the thing with whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you've got to be willing to put in the boring work, right? That's where the magic happens. One more quick thing on the workouts. And this is another thing that a lot of people get wrong is they almost get stuck in like decision fatigue because they think that they have to mix it up every single day at the gym. And that's just simply not true. Like they spend so much time scrolling on Pinterest or YouTube or Google or an Instagram influencer, maybe fitness influencer that they follow, trying to figure out what workout they should do that day because they got to mix it up. Like it's not true. I literally do the same workout splits every week. It's pretty boring, but that's how you're going to get, like if you really want like a toned bod, that's what you got to do. All right. Hey, it's Katie Fleece, head of the female division of Superhuman and your host here on Smoke Show. Listen, if you've been waiting for a sign to go after your strongest, fittest, hottest body, this is it. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need anyone else's permission. It's time to claim the body and the life you deserve. Go to smokeshowbody.com and take the first step toward building the ultimate version of you. Now back to the show. So that's my morning. Moving on, daytime. Couple things here. This is going to be probably pretty short and sweet because quite honestly, my days usually look different every single day. But there are a couple things that I do every single day to make sure that like I'm setting myself up for success. Number one, I eat real food. I am not I don't love like, I don't know, what's the word? Fake food. Like I don't love protein bars. I don't love protein shakes. Not that there's anything wrong with those, okay? I have nothing really against them. Depends on which brand we're talking. But I love to eat real freaking food, okay? So a lot of times what I'll do is we actually order from a meal prep company, and it's a game changer. So typically what I'll do is I'll order lunches from that meal prep company. And so every day it's like I know what I'm going to have. Like I literally just stick it in the microwave. Or if we ran out of meals from that meal prep company, I will eat leftovers from the night before, from the dinner the night before. It just makes it super easy, so I'm not tempted to like go through the drive-through, or sometimes I still do. Come on. Like, I love a McChicken with mayonnaise only from McDonald's every now and then, but it's not a daily habit, okay? If I'm craving sweets throughout the day, here's one tip that I do find helpful, okay? First of all, I try to eat some source of protein, even if it's just like beef jerky. Like if I'm like, oh my God, like it's that time of the month, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me all the chocolate. A lot of times I will try to eat some source of protein first, even if it's like I said, beef jerky or turkey pepperoni is another really good one. I'll pop some of those. And if I'm still craving something sweet, then I eat something sweet. Like I don't ever deprive myself and be like, no, you can't have that. You can't have, 4 Oreos. If I genuinely want them after I ate the beef jerky, then I have them. All right. I do think, side note, that is why a lot of people just feel like they can't ever stick to anything because they try to cut out like all of their genuinely favorite foods. And they tell themselves like, well, I can't have that. And then what happens? They end up craving it more. Okay. But that is a pro tip. Like try to eat a little bit of protein first because it may just be that you're actually hungry, not that you're craving something sweet. So yeah, prioritize protein every meal. I know for me, I try to get in about 120 grams of protein every day. So to make it easier, I just try to have protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, steps. I know I touched on this a little bit earlier because I do knock a good chunk of them out in the very beginning of my day, but usually, and it's usually super easy for me to hit about 15,000 every day. I know that might sound high for some of you, but I'm very strategic about when I get my steps in. You will never see me just getting on the treadmill to like get on the treadmill or going for a walk just to go for a walk. Well, sometimes outside, like if it's my husband. But usually I'm trying to pair tasks that are on my phone or on my laptop with walking. So I usually hammer those out really easily. And then I adjust as needed. Like I said earlier, every day is usually different for me. So some days I'm filming all day. Other days I'm running errands. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time. Like I'm in the car constantly running the kids around, going to ball games, going to practices, dropping this kid off here, dropping that kid off there. So every day is different, but the basics, like the staples, are the same. And then moving into the evening, one thing that I never skip is skincare. Okay? Especially as we get older, ladies, you gotta take care of your skin. So even if it's just like sometimes I'm just straight up lazy and I'm like, I don't want to do my whole routine. At minimum, I'll at least wash my face. It feels so good to wash your face. Even if I don't wear makeup that day, I still wash your face, all right? Wash your face. Dinner. So I don't cook. I don't want to cook. I don't want to learn how to cook. I'm a terrible cook. I'm not trying to learn. And there is no shame in that. Thankfully, my husband is pretty good in the kitchen. All right. So he actually makes all of our food. If it's a day where he's extremely busy and we, he's relying on me for dinner, we go out to eat a lot. Just because like I've got one meal. I can make lasagna, all right? But you can only have lasagna so much. So we usually go out to eat if it's going to be my night to be in charge of dinner. One thing that I always do when I go out to dinner is kind of what I just told you earlier. It's like prioritize protein first. Every place you go to is going to have a protein option, whether it's chicken, steak, salmon, tofu, whatever. Look at the menu, and even if there's something on there, like you can't find anything on there that's like perfectly within your calories or macros or whatever, you can always make adjustments. You can always make adjustments, and you can always ask for things that aren't necessarily on the menu. Okay? You got to get over your ego, and you can ask like, hey, can I just get like grilled chicken and grilled veggies or whatever, like if there's nothing on the menu that is like, fits within your goals. So again, prioritize protein, and then you can kind of fill your plate with the extras. And when you go to eat it, I would recommend eating the same way. So consuming your protein first, and then again, eating the additional things on your plate. Bedtime alarm. All right. Bedtime alarm goes off every single night at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. on my phone, it goes off. It turns my phone on do not disturb. And I don't necessarily go to bed at 8 p.m., but I put my phone away. I start winding down. I get off social media. I don't check Slack. I don't check emails. It's a beautiful thing. I've been doing that for years, and it makes a big difference in just how well I sleep. I would never recommend somebody just like laying in bed, scrolling on their phone, trying to get tired. You know what I'm talking about? I used to be that person. Then I was like, oh my gosh, I can't figure out why I can't stay asleep at night. So that right there has helped tremendously. So bedtime alarm goes off at 8. And then honestly, this is kind of lame, but I'm usually in bed between 9 and 9:30 at the latest every single night. But it also is what allows me to get up so early in the morning. So for me, I know I am an individual that if I do not get an adequate amount of sleep, like holy shit, watch out, I'm a bear. So it is what it is. So take these habits, like I said, make them your own, tweak what you like, leave out the rest. It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to share some staple things that I do every single day. But my advice to you is stop starting over and just freaking stick to them, right? You don't need another reset. You don't need, to decide like, what your perfectly curated morning routine is going to be. You don't need to meditate for an hour. You don't need to do a cold plunge unless you're into that sort of thing. Like that's totally fine. But you need to decide who the heck you are, and then start acting like her and doing the habits that woman would do every single day. See you next time. Stay strong, stay strategic, stay unapologetic. This is Smoke Show.